Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. This is Daphne, and I'm here today with the long-awaited Workspace table video. So apologies in advance. My lighting is a little odd because I'm out in my living room. My audio may be weird a bit because I don't know what the acoustics are like. I've never filmed in here before, so we'll just see how it goes, shall we? So, good, bad, and ugly. I didn't clean anything up. This is literally what it looked like when I finished working. So, I'm going to move back a bit and, well, maybe I'll just zoom out. So you can see I'm using my unicorn tray for trash. This is my Mrs. Havisham kit that I'm doing for drills and chills. I've got pins, my tweezers, the tray. That's my Elizabeth Ward tray. Let me back out a little bit so you guys can see a little bit more. You can see I've got Mrs. Havisham covered with release papers, my additional pins over there, and then you can see the bottom here of my newest purchase, which is a new light. So let me turn that on so you can see. Ooh, that's very bright. It has a dimmer switch on it, and I got it because I was having issues with my other light, and I'll explain that in a minute. So this is my table in the down position. So let me zoom out a little bit more, and you can kind of see the rest of the table. So back here in the corner, that's my brace. I've got a magnifying glass, a pen, a cover minder back there, and then these are additional drills that wouldn't fit in my Elizabeth Ward tray. I've got a straightener over here. I've got some wax that you can't see, and this is my current project. And then if I move you a little bit over here, let me pull up. You can see I'm right next to the staircase. That's our banister. But over here, these are drills that are for my Heaven and Earth design, which is underneath my Mrs. Havisham. So if I lift this up, you can see underneath here is my Heaven and Earth design project. And then I've got some scissors. Those are my, we have a handle on this, tips that I use for my square tips. That black box is the dimmer switch for my light pad, which is actually on the floor because I'm not using it at the moment. And then I've got another tray over here with some stuff in it, and then my logbook laying right there. So that's pretty much how my setup works. I'm going to scoot back a bit so you can kind of see the whole table, and then I will show you the table in action as well. But this is the position that I have it in. I think it's at 30 inches for when I sit to work on a project. And then when my watch reminds me, I stand up and I can raise the table so that I can stand while I'm working. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to work with the newest lamp, but I got a new one because what I did have was this one over here. I have this floor stand, and I'll back up so you can see it. But I have a floor stand, it's a lamp and a magnifying glass all in one, and it's not the sturdiest. It works nice, I like it, but it has gotten to the point where I've used it so much. It's loose, so it's kind of wobbly, and the light doesn't stay where I need it to. If I put it in a certain position, it will stay, but then sometimes it will just wander off on its own, which is not great when I'm trying to use it for lighting. So let me back up a little bit so you guys can kind of see the whole setup, and yeah, ignore the mess in the rest of the house. Okay, I'll be right back. I don't want to mess anyone up by doing this and moving things while I'm still filming, so I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so first off, let me just address the big underneath here. This is a sitting elliptical that I bought a long time ago that was supposed to help with my knee issues and things, so it's still under there. I don't really use it. It's kind of pushed back so it's out of the way, but I could if I wanted to. So for now, it's living there, excuse the mess. You can see also right there is my big magnetic light board. It was underneath everything when I had the drafting table, but then when I got this big table, it just doesn't work. And especially for these bigger canvases, because the canvases are bigger than the light board, even though it's the biggest one I could get. I just haven't been using it. I probably will drag it back out when I get back to the Heaven and Earth design, because there's a couple of sections that are just really hard to see the symbols. But anyway, so this is my standing lamp here that you can see. Let me move you a little bit. So you can see it's a floor lamp, but if I move it a certain direction, and of course I want it to, so I'm not going to do it now. If I move it to a certain spot, it won't stay. It just wanders back on its own. And so it was just getting really frustrating. Plus, now that I have the table that goes up and down, I have to move it up and down to adjust as well. And that just got to be really annoying. So I decided that I would get the little light that just sits on my desk. That way it's always at the right height. It's always where I need it, and we'll see how that goes. I haven't really had a chance to work with it yet. I literally just got it yesterday. So we'll see. But yeah, so this is how I work. So like I said, this is how I work when it's in the sitting position. I have literally just a desk chair that I bought on Amazon. I'll put a link to that in the description below. I got the small light at Joann's, but this light, the big light, I got on Amazon, so I'll put a link to that. And the table, of course, I got on Amazon. So it is a 60 by 30. It is literally the biggest tabletop that I could find. Most of them are much smaller than that. And I wanted the biggest one I could find because I wanted to be able to put my really big canvases on it. And you can see Mrs. Havisham is how big? I can't remember. I'll look it up and I'll put it on the screen right here. But it's pretty big, and my Heaven and Earth design is even bigger than that. And they both fit on there. And then I still have some room on the end for, you know, spaces to sit stuff. So I'm super happy with it. The only thing that's been bugging me recently is the lighting. And so, yeah. So I think my husband's going to take this light right here, and he's going to take it downstairs and use it with his resin and all that stuff, his 3D printers and things. But yeah. So now you guys want to see it in action. I'm actually going to move some stuff around. I got to move this light. I need to move some things on the table so I can show you the little control box, which is right here. And I'll show you how you move the table up and down. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. So this is the little table that you use, and you can pre-program in 4 different sets to memory, or you can just move it up and down. So right now it's set at 30. I think that's inches. Yeah, it's got to be 30 inches. So that's the down position for me, like I said, when I'm sitting. And that's why I work on it. So that's position number 1 for me. You can move it up and down in little increments like this. If you hold the button down, it'll just all raise up. You can put it down. Or if you have a thing already programmed in, you can just hit that button and it'll come up. So let me see if I can move out a little bit, and I'll hit button number 2 because this is my raised position. And you can see, there it goes. So I have it set at 37, which is where I've been using it, and that's a pretty good height for me. I actually think I'm going to raise it up. I find myself leaning too much on my bad elbow and shoulder with it at this height. So I think I'm going to raise it up a little bit more just to keep me from leaning on the table. But it's a good height for me to work with. And it goes up much higher than that. If you need it up higher than that, it'll go. So that's, 40 inches high. For those of you who are taller than me, whatever you want to do. And again, you can, make little micro adjustments to it if you want, so that it goes, you know, down or whatever, or you can just hit the memory button and it will go back down. The thing that I love about it being automatic like that, and what I like about it better than my drafting table is that I don't have to move everything. Literally, as long as I can get to those buttons right there, everything on the table can remain where it is. So when my watch reminds me I need to stand up, or my hip reminds me that I need to stand up, I can move my chair back, I hit the little button, everything comes up, and I don't have to move anything on the table. Everything can remain exactly where it is. My pens, my trays, my drills, all that stuff can remain exactly where it is. Now, I will say I do not currently have pets, so I don't have to worry about a cat, say, climbing on my table and knocking things off. So if that's a concern for you, you know, leaving stuff out may be a different ball game for you. We're dog people. We've always had dogs. We don't currently have any, but mine wouldn't be bothering anything on the table. They might occasionally bump into the table, but other than that, they wouldn't like be jumping on it or anything. So I don't have to worry about anything like that. And I don't, my family just leaves everything alone. It does kind of stick out further into my living room than I would like because the tabletop is so large. But like I said, for me, the whole reason behind getting it was I like to spend time with my husband. And so when he's home, he is generally on the couch, on his iPad, watching TV, or both. And so, you know, Monday Night Football, this lets me sit next to him. I can diamond paint while he's watching football. We're still right next to each other. We can have conversations. And it works for us. I wish I could rotate it 90 degrees so that it went along the banister like that, you know, went along the banister this way so that it didn't stick out so far in the table. But the way we have our furniture set up in our living room, then I would be sitting with my back to everyone in the room, which doesn't seem ideal. So this is what it is. And it's really just my husband and I and my son. So, you know, it's not like I have little kids running around that I have to worry about or anything like that. So yeah, I find this has been ideal for me. I'm having a lot less problems with my knee and my hip since I got it. You know, again, I love that I just have to push a button and it goes up. So let me show you again. It's in the number 1 position because it's down. I just push the button again and it all raises up automatically and I don't have to do a thing. So like I said, again, I just push my chair out of the way. I stand up, continue what I'm doing, and then when I get tired of standing, I just hit the button and it goes back down. And yeah, I was hesitant to spend the money on it. It was pretty pricey, especially since we'd already bought the drafting table. But that was one of the things that bugged me about the drafting table was that my entire drafting table, the entire top tilted. So I had nowhere to sit my drills, my trays, any of that kind of stuff. So I ended up having to have another table next to me to put all of that stuff on, which kind of just defeated the whole purpose. And like I said, for me, I don't really suffer from back and neck problems working on a flat surface like this. So if you do, then this is probably not ideal for you. However, if you got like a table easel, and I do have one of those, you could put the table easel on top of this and still, you know, work while you're seated and then raise the table up and work while you're standing, still using the easel. I just prefer to work this way and it doesn't bother my neck and shoulders or my back or anything. And yeah, I love it. You guys, it's raining today. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy. We need it so badly. Anyway, so yeah, so there is my drafting table or my, adjustable height table. Again, I will put a link in the description below so that you can check it out. And yeah, like I said, it's pretty pricey, but for me and the impact that it's had on my health, I mean, this lets me take care of my knee and my hip while also continuing to do all of the crafting that I want to do, which is good for my mental health. So yeah, I'm super happy with the purchase of it. And you know, like I said, it probably doesn't work for everyone to have it out in the middle of your living room like I do. But I would be just as happy with it if it was in my craft room. If I had a bigger craft room, I actually would put this in the middle of my craft room, and then I could use it not only as my workspace, but also my filming situation, my filming table. I don't have the space for that, unfortunately, in my room. Like if I put this in the middle of my craft room, I'd have room for no other furniture. So it just doesn't work for me. But yeah, if you have a big open space, or if you craft in a big room like your living room or something, then maybe this would be an option for you. But like I said, I love it. I've been so super happy with it. It lets me get on with diamond painting, and that's what I wanted. So yeah, there you go, guys. The good, bad, and the ugly. It's not as bad as I made it out to be. I'm just super type A, and I want everything to be clean and organized. And even though it's not really that messy, it just looks messy to me. I would much rather have just cleaned it off and not shown you guys all of my mess. But you know, here it is. Like I would have taken out all of the stuff underneath the table so that you didn't have to see that. I would have probably moved the table so you didn't have to see my stairs and all that stuff too. Move the coats that were hanging by the door and all that thing. Why? I don't know. Just because that's how I am. But anyway, there is my adjustable height table and my workspace. So I do have other storage and things in my craft room, but this is where I do 99% of my diamond painting. Other than my whip and chats, this is pretty much where I diamond paint. So now you guys have seen it. I hope you liked this video, guys. If you liked it, before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. Give me a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.